Hello, students. So today, during the form teacher time or CCE lesson, we were discussing about this concept of VIPS, right? We use VIPS to sort of understand ourselves and to know what kind of character we are. So what are they, right? So V stands for values, which represents the guiding principle that we live and base our life on, so that when we make decision, there is a system to it, right? Because the values will dictate how we make our decision when we reach a crossroad in our lives. And I represents interest because quite naturally every one of us have a different interest. P stands for personality, which describes how we typically behave. It's not saying that each of us only behave in a certain manner all the time. It depends on who we are with, the setting, the place that you're at. You can behave quite differently, but there is a base tendency that each of us naturally tends to. And finally, S stands for our skills, right? Because every one of us is good at different things. So what this little exercise was trying to achieve is to allow us to reflect upon ourselves, what is important to us, and to know what kind of character we are. So I was going around, some of you were writing your ideas, your thoughts on little piece of paper. And I saw one that's very interesting. I thought I'd like to use this as an example to share with everyone. One of you actually wrote down the interest. You wrote down outdoors, right? And then under skills, you write down speed cubing. So it means you can solve the Rubik's Cube quite fast. So when I saw that, my comment was, it seems that there's a misalignment. It's not saying that if your interest is in outdoors, you like the outdoors, you like to play outdoor sports, or you like to go trekking and you like nature, it doesn't mean that you cannot also be interested and develop the skills of speed cubing. But when we want to find our core identity, we try to find some kind of alignment. Just for example, if right the interest is outdoors, right, you really enjoy the outdoors. So to find some alignment, we need to think a little bit deeper. Why am I interested in this? So what are my values, right? Is it because we value harmony, or we value nature? We believe that man and our environment and the nature should live in harmony. Do you believe in conservation efforts to protect the earth? And because of that, you actually feel something for the outdoors, and you like the peacefulness that the outdoors can bring you. So you may talk about what you enjoy, the hiking, or you enjoy outdoor sports. They are quite different, right? Or if you enjoy just breathing fresh air, the concrete jungle actually feels constricting to you. So if that's the case, then what are the skills we will naturally develop, right? So whether you develop rock climbing skills, or even something more scholarly, such as learning how to identify different plants, or learning about all the eco systems throughout the world. Different climates, we have different ecosystems, or even things like different animal sounds that you can actually differentiate and identify. So all these things, actually, if you find that there's a strong connection between all these VIPS, it gives a very complete picture of what are the things that are important to you as a character. And when we have that kind of identity, then we know how do we actually seek and find our passion and our mission in life. Because right now, most of you are very young, so you may have tried a lot of different things. When growing up, some of you play some music, some of you take up some sports, learn to play some board games. So there are a variety of things that you may be interested in doing, but ultimately, it will converge into something that you will base your life on and will give your fullest. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that a person can only have one interest and one thing that you're passionate about. But there is one main one, right? There's one main agenda, and the rest are side interests that can support. So this is really the journey of trying to discover who you are, that we are trying to encourage everyone to undergo. because by doing this and understanding yourself better, that's where you can start thinking and planning your future a little bit better, and it will definitely be beneficial to you. Just and to round off just to cap this, I also saw quite a number of you right now you enjoy playing games, which is quite natural. I mean, people your age, uh, young people tend to enjoy game more than older folks. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But again, the message to you is think a little bit deeper why we enjoy the games or video games in particular, because there are many different types. So is it because we are trying to escape from the real world? I mean, if that's so, then that's where video games can be very negative. Or some positive aspect, maybe you enjoy social games, so you like the social interaction with other people online. So there are pros and cons to that, but it could be something quite positive if you were to be responsible about your interaction with others, right? Or you could just enjoy the competitiveness if you are into competitive games and treat it like a sports. So you enjoy the sensation of winning and honing your skills. That's another aspect. Or maybe you just like to explore new worlds. If you're into things like maybe RPGs, you like to go into new world, new setting, new environment, and learn about new stories that trigger new thoughts and ideas. So there are different ways to appreciate the idea of just immersing ourselves in playing games. So I hope you do not just take it as a blanket statement and say I enjoy playing games without putting some thought into it. Because if that's the case, then it will be just spending time playing game with no true value. What we want to teach young people is that we need to understand ourselves a little bit better, and when we engage in activities like that, we reflect and find out what kind of value are we trying to extract. And when we know that, then we know how to exercise a little bit more control. There are people who eventually fall into the danger of being addicted and missing out on their real life activity. If you fall into that trap, it is very tragic. But if you don't and you understand why you enjoy it, you extract the value of the things you enjoy, then you tend not to go overboard, and because you have control. And that is something very important that we hope all young people will eventually learn. All right. So with this, wishing you all the best and have a nice day.